Hi there, my friend. I just got back from a gorgeous walk today. Took a walk as I'm taping this. I think the temperature's about 45, 46 degrees today. Snow starting to melt. Had a lovely walk around the neighborhood, and it lets you think that he's got his exercise under self control. While I was walking, I kid you not, while I was walking, I was chewing on one of those little mini Reese's cups. like, oh my. Yeah, question number 4 in that self evaluation section is just killing me. Just killing me. But see, I was taking a walk to think. I took a walk and I was trying to think a little bit more about self control. And unfortunately, snack food is my thinking food. Um, when I'm thinking, I'm snacking. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I wish I understood it. I mean, if I understood it, I would, I don't know. Maybe I should just stop thinking. That wouldn't be very hard either. Well, I mentioned the other day that I struggle with self control when it comes to food. Just one look at this should tell you that indeed, yes, the guy struggles with food. I have friends that keep telling me to get into shape, and I look at them and say, "I'm round. Round's a shape, right?" Anyway, as I said, question number 4 in this self evaluation section is just really confronting me this week. What about question number 1? I want to look at that one too. I mean, let's be fair. Self control extends into a lot of different areas of our life. And Doug Morrell, the author of this study, wisely points out that self control also needs to be expressed in what comes out of our lips. So, does your language always reflect self control? Even better question is, what does controlled language actually sound like? Let's take a look at that this week as we examine the spiritual attribute of self control on transforming the world. My name is Pastor Greg. I'll be right back. So, what does it mean when we tell somebody to practice a little self control in their language? And I say, oh, dude, you really need to get your language under control. Typically, what I'm thinking, and I believe this is all of us, typically what we're thinking is that somebody needs to cut back on the use of those 4-letter words, those colorful metaphors. Um, but then again, this is what really got me thinking. If I get the words that come out of my mouth under control, if I stop using foul language, what our society or what the church claims is foul language, if I get that under control, if I stop using curse words, does that mean that I am now practicing self-control? Do we demonstrate self-control when our vocabulary consists of more appropriate words? Yes, it does. It does. You recognize the fact that certain words are offensive. Certain words should not be coming out of our mouth when we profess to be a Christian. And after some control and some discipline, you learn a different vocabulary. You use different words to express yourself. Personally, we Christians don't have enough words. Personally, I mean, when's the last time you were hammering a nail and you hit your thumb, and as a good Christian, you said, "Verily, verily, I striketh thee thumb." I mean, what do you say? Ouch. What does it mean when we tell somebody to practice self-control with their language? If a person is able to control the words that proceed from their lips, then they are going to appear as a person of good integrity. King Solomon observes that the one who controls his lips is wise, Proverbs 10:19. That comes from the Holman Christian Standard Bible. However, again, this is what the Reese's Cup did. It made me think a bit more. Because the Apostle Paul suggests that we extend that same control in how we speak. Not just the words that we say, but how we say them and to whom. In Ephesians 4:29, this is where Paul says, he says, don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. So if foul language, according to Solomon, Ecclesiastes 7:9, if foul language makes us look like a fool, then abusive language ends up destroying our witness, according to Paul. We can profess to being a Christian all day long, but unless we practice self-control in what we say about others or to others, we disqualify our testimony. He writes that, 1 Corinthians 9:27. To demonstrate self-control in our language, we need to resist the temptation to speak poorly about someone. Our words about others should be good and helpful, not derogatory and abusive. And the scriptures teach us that the mark of a mature Christian is that they never have to worry about who is listening, or they never have to think about, I need to get up and shut the door lest somebody might hear what I'm saying and become offended. So I don't know if you've ever said something that you later regret. I don't know if you've ever wounded someone by what you said about them behind their back. If you have, then you know why question number 1 in the self-evaluation section is so very, very important. And then you know why Jesus said what he did in Matthew 5:22. He says, when you call somebody a fool, you are guilty enough to be condemned to hell. Your words tear down. And you have not allowed the Holy Spirit to rule your tongue. Here's something, when we talk about self-control, something that may not occur to you, but I think it's important that we understand this. That self-control is not merely self-focused, where we think only about how our actions and behaviors affect us. We also need to consider how our impulses, our emotions, and our behaviors affect others. We need to keep that in mind. Self-control is also expressed when we think about our actions and how they may affect somebody else. We need to practice self-control when it comes to others. We really do. And in this case, of course, we need to consider what effect our words might have on those around us. So it's not just 4-letter words that we need to control. Question number 3 asks, as question number 3 asks, we have to also control the careless words as well. Self-control restrains from careless words as well. Self-control restrains from saying things that might wound others. Wow. Interesting thoughts about self-control. And I used to always think that, self-control was just minding what I ate, or being careful not to touch, or not to go, or not to do. Remember the song, be careful little eyes what you see, be careful little hands what you, remember that song? That's, self-control. But self-control also extends in my actions, my behaviors that are directed toward others. Interesting thought. How about it? We're going to continue to look at self-control tomorrow and on transforming the world. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. My name is Pastor Greg.